Sound check. Sound check. Okay, we back. And we are back. And we are back. And we are 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Sounding good out there. Good out there. 1 2 1 2. 2 1 2. Okay. Okay. Setting up the microphone here real fast. Setting up the microphone here real fast. Take away that echo. School bus driver. Yeah, welcome back to school for a new school year. Good morning, everyone. Drinking on my tea, hibiscus tea this morning. Helps lower your blood pressure. You want to know why it's important to have low blood pressure while driving the school bus? Because you can't be sick driving the school bus. JH Buses, what's up, my man? You already back? I've been back too. I've been dropping kids off and picking them up early. Welcome back to school, guys. Are you ready to go back, JH Buses? You ain't had no choice, though, right? No choice, right? I was talking about the blood pressure. I'm about to check my blood pressure because it's very important that I pass my physical and keep my blood pressure normal. Because when you're a school bus driver, yeah, you love your buses too. I know. You ever see my toy I got? I wonder if you got some of these toys, JH buses. It makes noise. I show this off all the time. Yeah. Are you getting a new third gen this year? That's too loud, I know. I want to see a couple ones you got. Post them on your tube. I'm gonna check them out. Here we are. Get off the school bus. Have a nice day. I got a 2025 this year. ICCE Internationals are my best. But yeah, the the first gen, second gen, and third gen, right? The first gen had the door you had to open up. Yeah, you get the first one in the district. Yeah, I had the first one in my district too. I can't wait to see the new features on the 2026. Remember the first gen? I don't know if you remember the first gen. It's right behind me. You been on the 2022? Yeah, I had them all basically. The first gen had the door. The driver had to pull the handle and push the opening. That was exercise all day. Like, then they got us lazy. They got us lazy with the button on the steering wheel. Just hit the button and the door just comes open. The second gen, I love the second gen with that was the beautiful door. The third gen, I don't know how you like that door. Yeah, it depends on the specs, right? Where's it coming out? Where it's coming out at? How you like the door? That door on the third gen. It takes too long to open for me. Stop sign comes. It's I don't like it, but I'm getting used to it. And it's not that easy to open with the key coming in early in the morning. It's been giving me some issues. Yeah, the steering wheel on the third gen is kind of thick for me. It got some programmable buttons. Hey, I can't wait for you to see it in action. You gotta let me know. You can see it live in person. I did a couple videos about it. A couple videos about it. Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it in action. That door is it opens up one, then two, and then the stop sign comes out. It's a little crazy sometimes. It's yeah, a little crazy. Wait till you ride that new one. It rides like a Freightliner. I like Freightliners. Nothing wrong with Freightliners, but the International riding like a Freightliner, that's pretty dope to me. It's pretty smooth. I like it. It's a little freight shaker ride. I can't wait for you to ride on it and let me know what's going on, how you feel about it. The AC system is awesome. It's the best AC system that they had. I can actually feel the air in the cockpit. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. Yeah, but like I said, that stop sign comes out too slow on them new ones. So be careful if you got to cross the street. Wait for that bus to come to a complete stop and let that stop sign come out. Oh yeah, you don't remember the C2? You was young. Yeah. Well, you can always look it up. I see you be doing them lots of buses. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you was on the 2022 last year, I believe. Well, the year before last, I had a 2022 and a 2020. I go to school. That is a career school I'm working with right now. Are you like in a technical school, a trade school? He was like 5. Yeah, you ain't gonna remember too much about that. What you know about the DEF tank? That DEF. It's that the diesel exhaust fumes. It cuts down on the fumes. I've been having trouble with that in my 2025. It's like when it gets below a half a tank, my exhaust gets hot. Is that normal or you're not sure yet? Yeah, the exhaust gets hot. But then, like I said, that AC is great, blowing on you in the cockpit. Something we don't need, the death. But I tell you about the yeah, I don't know neither. I'm trying to learn about it myself. It's giving me some problems. But the defrost for us drivers on the 2025 next gen is a lot better than the old one. Them old ones, the first and second gen, we had to move the fans around, open the windows just to get a clear view, clear up the door and all the windows and the windshield. But on the next gen, we just hit the button, clears right up. It doesn't even have fans on it. No fans on it at all. But that becomes a problem because sometimes I want to feel some, a breeze, a fan. I don't want to always want the air on. So the other day, I was coming down the highway. I was trying to get a breeze. So I opened my window because the buses ain't had no fans. Yeah, all the way up to the 80s. We was doing fine without the DEF, but the DEF does cut down on the fumes. It really does cut down on the fumes for 20 years. So they don't have no fans on there. So I opened up the window and I'm coming down the highway and a bee comes in my window, stings me right on my foot, and I had to get off on the next exit. I pulled him off my arm. I threw him down and he smacked himself on the master flasher button. That's the button we use to operate the stop signs and stuff. He hit this master flasher button, just laid there. I put it in park, applied my emergency brake. I'd had to jump off the bus and pull the stinger out. Oh, it was crazy. I had kids on the bus. They were laughing at me. They didn't know what was going on. But I jumped right back on and dropped them off right up the street. But I was like, oh, I wish we had fans because I wouldn't have opened the window like that. So I really miss the fans. Our third gen will be 12. Old 12 was a 2010. Oh, yeah, they'll be starting to replace them now. Starting to replace them. Them second, first gens getting replaced now. Yeah, that's my story about me missing a fan, getting stung by a bee the day I decided to open the window to get a breeze. It was funny. It wasn't funny at the time. It really hurt. Got stung by, I think it was a blackjack. It was like that big. It was bigger than a bee. Driving down the highway doing 55 miles an hour. But that steering wheel is awkward. It's real thick for us drivers. Check out that steering wheel when you get on there. It got the 4 programmable buttons, which I haven't programmed them for nothing yet because everything is within reach. I don't really need to program them for anything, I don't think yet. It's only been I've been driving that bus for about 6 months now, I believe. So it really ain't no fun yet. I'm still getting used to everything. The Carpenters, no. Maybe you want to remind me. Do I remember what are the Carpenters? I'm an international guy. What are the Carpenters? I mean, you could teach me some things. You could teach. I'm just a driver and a. So we like talking about getting ready to go back to school. So of course, we should be practicing the student pickup and the student drop off. But right now, talking to my boy JH Buses over here. You check out them clearance lights on the X-Gen. They pretty cool, man. I like the clearance lights, nice. I know you seen the school bus sign. The school bus sign is nice, lights up. Uh, one of the guys on my YouTube, it's Ryan. I know you probably know him. Said it was incandescent. He didn't really like it. Do they make them with LED on the school bus sign? I would like to know that. What about Wayne? Are you naming transportation companies or different specs of the buses? Cause I don't know nothing about that. I'm just a bus driver and a trainer. I know all the parts on the bus. I know all about the internationals. Under the hood, under the bus, the rear of the bus. I can expect inspection, do a pre-trip inspection. section. Yeah, you're gonna have to teach me some of that stuff you talking about there. So the clearance lights are LED? Wow. The school bus sign is incandescent, I believe. But it's pretty cool how it lights up. I've never had a school bus sign that lit up like that. The stop sign is pretty cool the way it lights up. It's a little different than the first two generations. Yeah, you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it. You're gonna see all that stuff on there. They still got the good seat belts on there. I ain't gotta pick them up off the floor no more like the first gen. So I'm cool with that. The student alarm, that was a little confusing, a little something to get used to because when I go disarm it, it usually beep and let me know that it's disarmed, but this one doesn't make a noise when you disarm it. It just kind of like flashes the lights real fast. The internal lights on the inside. So that was a little confusing. But I like the ride. Like I said, it rides more like a Freightliner. It really does. Yeah, I think they stopped them seat belts, them loose seat belts. When was the last time you was on a school bus that the seat belts didn't retract into the seat by themselves? What year was that? I'm thinking 2015 or something like that. 2016. I'm not sure. I drive so many buses. The cockpit is great on the 2025. I want to see the next gen with some LED lights on that school bus sign. I want to see the difference. I was told my bus comes out of New York. I want to see something different, what they doing on the West Coast. Ohio doesn't use seat belts. You learn something new every day. So every kid, none of the kids on the bus have seat belts. Wow. Wow, you never had seat belts on your bus? So y'all just flying all over the place? Well, honestly, I gotta tell these kids to put their seatbelt on. They don't always put them on, but a lot of kids do use the seatbelts. You appreciate the seatbelt. I know you be sliding all around on them leather seats. You be sliding without them seatbelts. The driver's seat is an air ride seat. Let the up and down, in and out. That is crazy. They don't have seatbelts. Wow. Yeah, but the seats, the driver's seat is cool. Sometimes it could be. Sometimes it could be a pain. Yeah, I know you wouldn't put it on. I know. A lot of kids don't, but a lot of kids do at the same time. So it still should be an option in every state. Yeah, I just wish they had a fan on there. I'm scared to open the window, you know, scared to open the window. So I got to take my physical, right? And part of the physical, I got to have low blood pressure. I got to have good hearing, of course, check your reflexes, all kinds of stuff. So I've been drinking this hibiscus tea, this Jamaican hibiscus. Let's see if that helps. My pressure ain't really high. I just want to be double sure. Oh, they got the O5C2s. at your school every day. Yeah, I guess that's pretty common. Do you know how long a bus is allowed to be on the road before they have to replace it? Because I'm thinking 12 years. I'm thinking 12 years. Well, at least in my state. See, we going state to state. Because you talking about O fives. Ain't nobody driving no O five in my state. Well, in my district, we 12 years, and then we got to get a new one. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a lot. I've been doing a lot of exercising and dieting, getting ready for my physical because I'm ready to get back to school. Getting back, ready to punch in. I did it. Look, I've been there for summer school. Yeah, we still clocking in. I did it for the summer school, the summer programs. Yeah, I think it depends on the state. I've been there for summer school, summer programs, but school starts in September. But right now we're doing sports tryouts. Yeah, we're doing the sports tryouts. I hope I got some batteries in this thing. It'll be jacked up if I don't. Right now we're doing the sports tryouts and the scrimmages and things of that nature. So I've been driving. I had maybe about a week and a half off in August. The first week and a half in August, I was off. Oh yeah, we got batteries. Let's see if I get a good reading. If my batteries are working here. Check it out. What's that? The district that just retired at 98. Thomas. Thomas Bill. I like them Thomas. Thomas are cool. What about the Bluebird? See what my pressure looking like. I go next week. That ain't looking too good right now. I think because I'm talking. I think I gotta shut up and do it. I'm gonna be quiet for a second. Be quiet for a second and take this blood pressure. I'll show it to you at the end. All right. It ain't getting no better. We're gonna check that later. Maybe at the end of the stream. The LED headlights. They are beautiful, aren't they? LED headlights next gen is beautiful. Good morning. We are happy to go back to school. Yes, we are. ready to return. So we want to study the student pickup and the student drop off. For the student pickup, 300 feet before the bus stop, I turn on my amber warning lights. I approach the stop slowly and cautiously, checking for traffic as I pull far right and close to the curb as I can. 10 feet from the bus stop, where I can see the children's feet touching the ground just over the top of my hood, I'm coming to a complete stop. I put my bus in park, apply my parking brake, open my service door. This activates my red warning lights and stop sign. I motion the children to enter the bus. As they enter, I remind them to put on their seat belts. When all the children are safely seated with the seat belts on, I close my door. This deactivates my red warning lights and stop sign. I put my left turn signal on. I put my bus in drive. I release my parking brake. I scan the area. I check all my mirrors. I let any backed up traffic pass by. When it is safe, I merge into the flow of traffic. So that's the student pickup. Yeah, man, I love the LED lights on the new next gen. The LED headlights are beautiful. Beautiful lights. Yeah, I'm in Jersey. I'm in New Jersey. So we're a little different out here than Ohio. I think it's a little different in every state. So the student drop off, got to make sure my master flasher's on. That's the button we use to operate the stop sign and the crossing arm, the warning lights. So make sure my master flasher is on. 300 feet before the bus stop, I turn on my amber warning lights. I approach the stop slowly and cautiously, checking for traffic as I pull right and close to the curb as I can. 10 feet from the bus stop, I come to a complete stop. I put my bus in park, apply my parking brake, open my service door. Again, this activates my red warning lights and stop sign. I scan my mirrors for traffic. When it's safe, I signal the children to exit the bus. If a child wants to cross the street, I tell them to make eye contact with me at my left front headlight. And I wait and tell them to wait till I check to make sure it's safe for them to cross. I check all my mirrors. I scan the area, making sure all traffic has stopped. When it is safe, I signal the child to cross in a downward Cooper flower, a downward motion. Because I do not want the traffic to think I'm waving them through my red warning lights and stop sign. When all children are safely on the sidewalks, I close my door. Again, this deactivates my red warning lights and stop sign. I put my bus in drive, release my parking brake, put on my left turn signal, check all my mirrors, scan the area for traffic, let any backed up traffic pass by. When it is safe, I merge into the flow of traffic. So that's the student drop off. Yeah, it makes sense that I'm in Jersey, right? So you've seen two second and third gen so far in the district I will have there this week. Yeah, do some videos, take some pics or something. I don't see many first gens on the road. Every once in a while, you might see one, but I don't see them picking up too many kids in the first gen. Not in Jersey. Another thing we got to be careful for when we coming back to school is them railroad crossings. So when we do the railroad, I have to make sure the master flasher is off. Yeah. Make that content. I have to make sure the master flasher is off when I'm coming to a railroad because I don't want my stop sign and stop arm to come out, and I don't want cars to stop on the tracks and get hit by a train. I mean, I make sure my master flasher's off so that way when I open my door and look, my stop sign doesn't come out. So 200 feet before the railroad crossing, I turn on my four-way flashers. 50 to 15 feet or at the stop line, I come to a complete stop. I put my bus in park, apply my parking brake, open my door, open my window, turn off all radio heaters and fans. I look and listen both ways up and down the tracks, making sure there's no train coming either way. I check to make sure there's enough space to get my bus completely across the track. When it is safe, I close my door, I put my bus in drive, I release my parking brake, then I accelerate rapidly across the track. If the gate comes down, I go through it. I let dispatch know what happens later. I never ever stop on the railroad tracks. Once I'm completely across the tracks, I turn off my four-way flashers. I will never ever stop on the railroad tracks. That's the railroad. So we covered the pickup, the drop off, and the railroad. A couple things we want to be careful going back to school. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? That'll bring you to this book on Amazon. No, I think it brings you to YouTube. I haven't scanned it in a while. But I sell this book on Amazon. It should be in my links on my page. How to inspect the school bus and passenger and school bus endorsements. Also have a notebook just to take notes. You want to take some notes about your content. Yeah, I did my blood pressure. It was halfway decent. Could be better. I'm going to check it later. But I do have some tips. 21 driver safety tips. If my bus is on, my lights are on. Always secure my bus. Exit the bus properly. The lights you touch, and you cannot combine during a pre-trip inspection. If you can touch them, you can't combine them during a pre-trip inspection. Know your placard's location and know your placard's information. On my buses, right over top of my head on the driver's side, it's the placard. Give me the information about the tires and that sort of thing. Always you say indicator during indicator light check. Those of you, this is for safety tips and to help you with your CDL test. Learn the bus key movements for successful pre-trip. Yeah, because one click forward, one click backwards, disarm the student alarm, one click forward gets it ready to start. So you don't want to make these mistakes. Disarm the student alarm after your applicant light check. Applicant light check is where they check the lights when you first get there. So you want to disarm when you finish that because that's really not part of your test. Don't run a red light on a left turn during your CDL road test. I made a couple videos about that. If you put yourself out in the middle of the intersection, I hope you can make that left turn before the light turns red, because if it turns red and you're going through it, they can fail you. A lot of People don't like that. It's just for the test, of course. Watch for speed limit signs and deceleration and acceleration ramps. If one isn't posted, don't go over 15 miles an hour when you're getting on the highway or freeway. Keep a speed cushion in front of you. Know your following distance. If you can't see the wheels of the vehicle in front of you, you're way too close. If you can see the wheels, that means you're at least 10 feet away. Coast and cover through intersection. Coast and cover 1 foot over the brake without hitting it. You're coasting and covering the brake without touching it, just in case you need to touch the brake and apply the brakes. This will decrease your reaction time. If a ball rolls into the street, expect a child to follow. We are coming back to school this year. We are ready to come back, and we need to be aware of these things. Never ride through a pile of leaves. A child could be at play. Be careful of tree branches poking in your bus windows if you have to get close to them, especially during and after rainfall. We don't want to put a child's eye out. Welcome back to school. Be mindful of your braking distance. Pay attention to all clearance signs. They are very important for CDL drivers. You don't want to open up your bus like a can. Don't go under any underpass that's not tall enough for your bus. How tall is your bus? What is your clearance? Always put your seat belts on before you start your bus. Make sure your master flasher is off at the railroads. Make sure your master flasher is on when you're picking up and dropping off. Thanks for checking me out, JH Buses. Post them pics. I'm going to be checking you out. Thanks for watching, my friend. I'm going to close it up here. Get myself together, go do some exercise, getting ready for my physical next week. I'll keep you guys posted. Welcome back to school. School Bus Driver Live.